Rolling.
Can you tell us your name?
My name is Habiba.
And what do you do here at Haki Sheria?
I'm a programs officer, the program officer for environmental justice at Haki Sheria.
And can you tell us a bit about the issue of double registration?
Yeah, so the issue of double registration started a while back during the time when there was some sort of war in Somalia and people had to flee to the country. So when they did this, they opened the refugee camp, and the community, there was also drought at that time, so the community here was not receiving as much support as the refugee camp was doing. So the community members figured if they could go join the people in the camp, they could get more food and medical services and things like that. So they went ahead and did this. A lot of them did.
So many registered as refugees?
Yes, they did.
And what consequences did that have? What problems did that cause?
Okay, so when they did this, parents registered their kids as well, who are below 18 and things like this. And when these kids got to 18 and started looking for IDs, it was a problem because their fingerprints appeared in the refugee database. So when they took the fingerprints, the Kenyan government took the fingerprints to issue them with IDs, they told them they rejected this because they were registered as refugees, not Kenyan citizens. So this was one of the problems. And most of the kids, we found out, they were babies, they didn't consent, and others, even worse, were registered by their relatives and neighbors and people like that.
And what is Haki Sheria doing to help people who are stuck in this situation?
Okay, so Haki Sheria, before the vetting started, we've been doing a lot of lobby and advocacy work around the double registration individuals. And so we figured, because we can get the information, we came up with a database, just our own, whereby when clients come in, we'd register them because they would come and tell us they're trying to apply for IDs, but they can't, so why? So we figured out that it's because their fingerprints are in the refugee database. So we captured this information, told them what they needed to prove they're Kenyan citizens. So, parents' birth certificates, IDs, your passports if they had, if the parent is dead, death certificate, everything that can actually show that someone is a Kenyan citizen. So we've created the database, we entered the information, and also we made copies of their documentation just in case, they needed this in the future. So through this, also using the information, the database we had, we also started talking to the government and the UNHCR, to try and see what they can do to remove these people from the refugee database. So this is how the vetting process started. And when it did, since the day it began, we've been, before even it began, we've been talking to the county commissioner, trying to see what they're looking for, how they will do it. So we've been a major, part of the process, just working with them throughout the steps. And when it began finally, before it did, we did a sort of a mobilization, just going around telling people what they needed to bring. We told them, the people, we have your information, we still have them if you need copies of this. But if you don't need them, we need A, B, C, D. The location that will start is Waberi at that time, so you guys need to go to the chief's office. There's an affidavit the chief was supposed to fill out, say that they know you, and there's a photo and a fingerprint and everything. So we made sure they had all this. So when we began on Monday, they had the documentation. It's just now the vetting process to begin. So when the vetting process began, we realized that the key things they were looking for to confirm that someone registered as a refugee, the ration card, alien card, and manifesto, most of the community members do not have this. So this was another problem because they would go in to be vetted and then they'll come out because they didn't have this. So that was step one. So now we figured we need to help the community again with this. So we went to the county commissioner and we went to the UNHCR offices. We made the two communicate and find a way to bring the biometric devices. And thankfully they did that a few days in. And then now we've had sort of a UNHCR verification room where our paralegal is 100% there the whole time. So you go there if you don't have this documentation, the first step, and then now go to vetting. So we managed to get people whose locations were not yet, being vetted to prepare themselves. So they come and get this documentation and then wait for vetting to begin. Yes.